know that I teach women to go from toxic to abundance in 90 days or less by waking the F up, right? And so my book, Wake the F Up, I keep saying it. I started it last year, and I had pre-orders, and we were all excited about it, and things did not go, not the things, but this thing, that would be me. The distractions and all that keep you from your goals. And so I'm back on the saddle, right? And so I said that Wake the F Up, guys, is me. I teach women how to go from toxic to abundance in 90 days or less by waking the F up. The F is for your faith, your family, your finances, your fearlessness, your ferociousness, your femininity, your fabulousness. Like every F word that you could think of is what we're waking up. And so if you see me talking over here, I'm talking to my YouTube. And if you see me talking over here, we on live Facebook. And then the microphone is for the audio. So anyways, I started to think about fear, and I started to think about that F word, because when I think about fear, I feel like the biggest thing that keeps us from doing anything that we want to do is because we are afraid. It's fear. And fear, guys, is false evidence appearing real. You hear that all the time. So Inga, why are you patting yourself? What's going on? Because when I started our live a while ago, technical difficulties, I had to move. The location I moved to is hotter than it is hot as F right now. Y'all know I get hot easy, so I'm trying to find a fan. And I kind of heard that when you fan yourself, it makes you even hotter, right? Let me tell you this. Fear is one of the biggest things that we have to get over in our lives because it keeps us from doing anything. So I had a situation, my son had a situation recently, and I sat down and I explained to him, let's not be afraid. How do you get over fear? And that's not what we're talking about. Particularly, we're talking about fear of love. So that's what this particular podcast is about. But how do you get over fear? One of the ways that I get over fear is I just get it over with. Boom, done. You see that? Done. Do it. Say it. Go. Get it. It's over. Fear. You get over fear by getting an activity of the thing that you want to do. We're afraid because it's unknown, because it's nervous, because it's uncomfortable. We tried it one time and it didn't work out. We tried it one time and it didn't feel good. It hurt. We were disappointed. So we're afraid. But go. That's literally how you get a fear. You be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And by the time you get to do it or don't do it, you don't waste all the time. So when you could have done whatever it is, it could be jumping, it could be relationships, it could be calling someone, it could be sharing disappointing news, it could be telling the truth. Get it over with. Just like that, just go. Done. Fear, right? That's easier said than done. It is. Let me tell you this. Did you know, I was in a car with my husband and one of our partners, Buck, the other day. And so I said, y'all know I'm smart, right? And they was like, what? We were talking, like, having a whole conversation. So something about me is when I get to ranting, it's a whole rant. Listen, when I get to talking and it's a rant, it's a whole rant. I be having something to say. And so what I said to him was, Boo Bear, did you know that we have every single day 70,000 thoughts a day? The human brain processes 70,000 thoughts a day. And out of the 70,000 thoughts, 85% of those thoughts are negative. He said, what? How you know that, Pooh Bear? So in the back seat of the car, you got Buck back there, because you know Buck's the caveman. Buck is the quiet guy. He doesn't really talk a lot, but he be checking for you. Don't tell him I told you. So he's checking his phone, checking his phone. He'll say nothing. So I was like, yeah, out of the 70,000 thoughts a day that we have, 85% of them are false, are negative, and 95% are repetitive. Can you imagine? Think about it. Your thoughts are negative, then they're repetitive. So you're literally fighting yourself every single day, all day long. It's a rumble. It's a war. It's World War Me all day long. I'm not this. I can't that. I won't this. This will never happen. All day long. You're thinking it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, right? And so how on earth can we get over anything or get through anything when we're fighting ourselves to be champions all day, and only that 15% of your brain is available for you to get over situations or to win? Crazy, right? Literally. You don't believe me? So I tell you that Buck was in the back. He's on his phone because he's on Google. He said, hey, Marty. And he shows him the phone. I was like, yo. So when Boo Bird say, how you know that? I said, because I read. I read, and when I read, it makes sense, and then I think about it, I'm like, damn, that is the real life, low-key true. And so what are we going to do about it? And so that is what prompted me to want to talk about the fear of love, because when I talk about women, when I say wake the F up, this is for women. This is for any woman that's been in a toxic situation, that doesn't know how she's going to make it, doesn't know how to move on, that's frustrated of getting to the next level. Wake the F up is where it's at. Within 90 days, you're going to learn how to go from being toxic mind, negative thinking, stinking thinking, fighting. You're going to have negative thoughts, but you'll learn how to fight those thoughts. So my Boo Bear says, well, Boo Bear, how do I go from being toxic to abundance in 90 days? I said, well, you're going to have to pay me $297 to learn that. He says, okay, that's a good one. So I'm not going to just tell him. I'm going to share with him, but I'm not going to just tell him how to do that. You got to get with the get down to get with the get down. You know what I mean? So anyway, I wanted to talk about love because in relationships, a woman like me, I remember how difficult it was. It is and has been, and sometimes actually literally daily still is, to participate in a relationship, to connect together, being with a person that you would like to share your heart with, your emotions with, your soul ties with. It is very challenging when you have been through some traumatic experiences. So for me, it was domestic violence. For others, it could just be a darn right heartbreak or heartache. It could be so many reasons why. You've been molested, you've been violated, you've been raped. Like the things that have happened to us that we don't feel like we can continue to participate anymore. And the reason that I wanted to talk about the fear of love, because you can get over it, you can get through it. You deserve to be happy and be in a relationship where you feel love, where you feel comfort, where you feel partnership, where you feel together. And so the reason that I wanted to share fear of love, because the first part of fear is getting over it. Remember, I told you that fear is false evidence appearing real. And so it isn't that you're not afraid, because being afraid is a real live mental thing, right? And your heart, your mind affects your heart affects your body. And so being afraid is a real life thing. It's just that when you choose to get over the fear, you can move on with your life. And we'll talk about down the road how to get over fear. Like I said in the beginning, boom, just do it. Literally, once you do something that you are afraid of, and some people have, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not giving out psychology for anyone. Some people really literally have debilitating fears where they cannot move. They get anxiety, they get this sweat, and all kinds of things that will happen to them. But there are ways to get over fear, which we will discuss. The most important thing that I wanted to talk about today was that fear of love. You deserve, even after heartbreak, even after heartache, and guys too. I mostly talk to women, but guys too, because a lot of guys will be like, I'm never gonna do that again. If this doesn't work out, my nephew says it. If this doesn't work out, I'm never gonna do it again. Never is a long time, never like forever. And so you never know. You don't really know what you're going to ever do again. And we can always have things pre-planned. Like I like to pre-plan. In my relationship, I try to pre-plan everything. We pre-plan the outcome. We pre-plan. The outcome meaning if this happens, then this is going to happen. That's what we do. We pre-plan our finances, plan our goals and the things that we want to do. So I like to stay 1, 2, 10 steps ahead at all times, because you just never know. But when that sting comes in your heart, how do you pre-plan that? And how do we get over doing that? And so I want to give you 5 tips on how you literally can choose to be loved and to love again. Everything that we do starts with ourselves. Everything. Everything starts with a choice. Everything starts with a decision. Everything starts with a notion or a feeling of what you want to do for yourself, right? And so I wrote it down. I had this habit of, I never want to have a note, because I don't want it to seem like I don't know the answer. But I don't always know the answer. I don't always have the solution. And when I say I don't always know the answer, anything I share is going to be based on what I've done on my own. I can never tell you anything that I've never done. I can't share the result or how you can overcome something if I've never done it. And so when I say I write it down, it's because I always like to feel like I don't need a note or I don't need a memo, because it's all in the. Remember, I told you that 70,000 thoughts a day. some of this stuff I'm not going to remember. And so I got notes. I found myself fearful of having notes because what are the people going to say? If the people see me with notes, they're not going to think that I don't know. I be knowing, but I need my notes. My notes are helpful because it helps me stay on track because otherwise I be rambling. And you don't want me to ramble now, do you? All right, well, let's talk about it. So going through heartbreak definitely can be difficult, right? It can feel impossible, hopeless, like, oh my gosh. How many of y'all are in the bed today right now listening to this? You're heartbroken? Your boo done left you, done went on, got another girl, done another woman, another partner, another friend, guy or girl, whatever it is. And you in the bed, like it's Saturday or Sunday or whatever day you listen to this, and you decided, I am not for it today. I am not getting out of the bed today. I'm just going to lay here, stay here. And so heartache is hard. It's challenging. You don't want to eat. You don't want to think. You feel cloudy. I'm going to tell you my experience I had. I felt cloudy. I felt like I couldn't, although the world was moving, I felt like I couldn't think. I felt like I had a decision, and when it was time to make the decision, I couldn't figure out how I was going to go through with the decision. Then something stuck me where that planning, I tell you that I always have a plan. Like I always know what's next. And I realized in this moment where I want to make a decision for myself because I don't like how I feel, because that fear of love, when we come to the hard part, I froze like, oh, this is it. I gotta roll, I gotta get out of here. And in that moment, literally, I couldn't even think, where did I want to go? I had to ask myself, like, oh, damn. Like, okay, you're leaving, you're rolling out what you're going to do, but where are you going? I didn't even know where I wanted to go. And that freaks me out. And so fear of love was a real thing. Like, I don't want to stay. I got an attitude. I'm mad. I'm hurt. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm not having it. Then I get gangster with it. Like, oh, heck no. Or hell no. Hell no. You don't know about me. I am this. I am that. I start talking them affirmations to myself because, I'm trying to build myself up because I'm trying to run away from this broken heart. Like, oh, man, you better ask about me. Like, I got all kinds of things that I say to myself that I go through this regimen of winning because I'm always win for myself, even in the midst of heartache. So the fear of heartache is this, or getting over heartache and learning for women to love, learning for women to choose to love again is you got to start with yourself. There's no way that we can get that pain, that muscle of that ache of our heart. The only way to get over it is to think literally, because sometimes your heart is weak. Your heart do what your heart want to do, but your brain is the conscious one. Your heart is the unconscious one. It's just love everybody, love everything, want to do everything. It's going to always be okay. But your brain is that piece of you that puts all that stuff together like, no, wait, stop, hold on, So you got to first, when you feel heartache, before you even can begin to decide to be in a relationship again, you have to remember to take time for yourself to heal. Take the time to get to know yourself again. Take the time to just I know that a lot of women, because I'm sure I've done it, if you're in a situation, let's call it, where someone was unfaithful, they done cheated. They cheated. Okay, cheated. This person has cheated on you and made you, and I call cheating, what I feel about cheating is you have decided that you didn't have the heart to tell me to my face that you were not part of this relationship or that you were unhappy. And so you cheated. Cheating to me is weakness. It means that you're greedy and you're weak. That's just how I feel, and I'm going to keep it real. Okay? Cheating is weak. It means that you don't have the heart to say what it really is, and so you try to have your cake and eat it too. But in this over here, I don't know about you, but for me, cheating leads to domestic violence. For me, in my experience, any relationship I've ever been in where the partner has chose to go against what we're doing, that's cheating, and that leads to these hands. And I don't know, I'm not saying that I started domestic violence, but when people's heart is hurt, the first thing they do, in my experience, is start swinging. They're mad, they're frustrated, they're screaming, they're yelling, they don't know what to do because your world came to a crashing halt just like that, right? And so when you're trying to heal, and we as women sometimes, when we're trying to heal, we find that what we do is when you find out that your partner has not been faithful, you check in, right? You want to check. I want to look on that social media, or you want to see who the person is because we're comparing ourselves. Like, what happened? What did I not do? So we blame ourselves. Like, oh my God, what did I not do? Why did this happen to me? And I'm trying to figure out how I pair up or match up to the person. And you got to realize, even if the person was Beyonce herself, I don't know, Janet Jackson, whoever you think is fine out there, even if she was the baddest BBL on this side of the planet, right? You're trying to figure out, how do you measure up to that person that your partner has chosen? And they could be the baddest of the baddest of the baddest. They're not better than you. I know for me, if you cheat, be like, she ain't even, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know, because people do things for different reasons, and physicality is not always the reason that someone is cheating. It's not always the reason that this relationship is not going the way that it's supposed to go. And my Boo Bear talks to me all the time. He says that people have silent cries. And a silent cry is that cry where you are crying out and you're sharing with your partner, but nothing's happening, or you're acting out in a way, but nothing's happening. I say all that to say, take time to heal. Don't compare yourself to a situation outside of you, because everybody's different and people do things for different reasons. I cannot and will not sit here and be the person that tells you that men cheat for this or this happens for that. But what I will say is, it's not always about you. People do things for themselves, to feel good in themselves, because my other life is trying to connect, but people do things for so many different reasons. And so we can't blame ourselves, but we could take the time to heal. So before we could consider being in a relationship with someone else, we have to make sure that we take that time to reconnect with ourselves, to get to know ourselves. Choose in your mind, because it's very difficult to pick up the ball when you start to fall apart, right? People fall apart. You could be sad for a couple of days, but get yourself together. Get cute, get fine. Do what you have to do. Pick yourself up. Do your hair. Do whatever you want or have to do to get yourself together. That's another conversation, how to repair yourself after a heartache. This conversation is just things that you should do once you're trying to restore and build the trust to love, to want to love, to get over that fear of love. But first thing we're going to do is heal ourselves, get ourselves together, get to learn ourselves, focus on our needs, focus on our emotions, focus on our wants and our desires. What do we want? We're not blaming ourselves or fighting or beating up ourselves, but we are learning to be us again, learning to be warm and learning to be love ourselves again. It's that self-care time, right? That woman's wellness, get myself together time. So we're going to heal ourselves. That's the first step we do. And give yourself permission to process your emotions. Like, it's not easy to know how you feel. And literally when I tell you, like, you don't know, you be in a whirlwind of like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what to do. You could call a friend. I call my one friend that I know I could trust, that's going to be a ride or die. I have a sister too. But I have this friend, because sometimes you got to be careful of the things that you tell your friends. When you tell your friends, you might be in a situation of heartache or healing, and you tell your friends, and you don't want to cling to other people's advice, because people won't tell you how they really feel. People hold on to the things what they really thought of the person, and that energy on you, in addition to your own energy, is very unhealthy, and it's not helpful, because you're not able to process your own feelings, your own desires, and your own emotions. And so you have to make sure, one second, you have to make sure that you're leaning to your own understanding, and that you're doing what you have to do for yourself. Focus on self-love. I just said that. As you take the time to heal, you want to make sure that you're engaging in activities that you like. Go walking, go to the park, get yourself in shape, pick yourself up. Do things to make you feel good, because you feel sad, you feel hurt, so you have to go back to feeling good for yourself. You got to feel great, because if you don't feel good, you can't give good out. If you're not happy, you can't share happiness. If you don't have joy, which is a gift from God, because joy is the fruit of the Spirit, happiness is a thing, joy is a gift, right? And you want to feel that unspeakable joy. When I had a recent situation, let me tell you what happened to me. My friend was like, I don't even know how you even like getting it together right now. Like, if that was me, oh my gosh. It wasn't me. It was God. It was an act of God. I said, I think I had that scripture that comes and it tells you that you put on the whole armor of God. Like, I prayed to let it go. I literally was like, okay, I trust you, God. 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 That was like my affirmation. Like, I trust you, God. I might have said it 100 times before I let it go, because in that moment I was like, I trust you, God. I'm scared. I trust you, God. I trust you, God. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I trust you, God. I trust you, God. I trust you, God. I trust you, God. I kept saying it, and then finally I got, because I was fearful, to let go of the situation because I didn't know what to do. I tried to control it at first, but I trusted God to get me through. So I trust you, God. I trust you, God. I kept saying it, and then all of a sudden I just let my hands go, and I just dropped it. I dropped it. I trust you, God. I trust that I'm going to be all right. And literally, when I tell you that, once I did that, instantly, all of a sudden, I felt that release. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how that peace came over me. I know that I just said, I trust you, God. And when I did that, trust you, God, it came. It happened for me. And I was not worried. I kept talking. I kept working for my business. I kept promoting my books. I kept doing what I had to do. I just kept on working. I kept on hustling, you know? And so when I realized that I needed help that was beyond my own control, that was beyond myself, I let it go. And it happened, and I focused on myself. This is why I'm here talking live to you guys. This is why I'm able to get myself together, because listen, all I do know is I have a mission and a plan, and I love myself, and God's going to only give me what's the greatest thing for me. I'm not going to have lack. I'm not going to be without. I'm not going to have anything inferior to what I expect or want for myself. I'm going to get what I'm supposed to have, because what I'm supposed to have is going to always come. And I believe that. So guys, I want you, while we're talking about this, if you're not a part of our Manifesting for Her community, I want you to go on Facebook Live and join that community. Community is fun. We do manifesting every day. And manifesting is just speaking it into existence, claiming it as though it's yours, speaking those things that are not as though that they are. This is what we do. We speak it up, we talk it up, we toss it up, and we get what we're supposed to have every single time. It ain't never been a time that you were supposed to have something or wanted to have something or had to have something that was meant for you that you didn't get, because you focus your intention on it 100,000%, and it has to happen for you. This is the way that the universe works, right? So we focusing, guys, on self-love. We're going to practice forgiveness. Listen, when you're upset with somebody, practicing forgiveness is a big deal. That is one of our F words. Remember, that is the wake the F up, the faith, the family, the finance, the fabulousness, the forgiveness, the fearfulness, and all of these things. Forgiveness is a big deal. If you're mad at yourself, don't doubt yourself. Trust yourself. When you're down and out, you start to doubt yourself. I could have did this. I can't. Don't do that. Practice forgiveness. First, forgive yourself. If you know that you knew that something wasn't what it was supposed to be, and you stayed anyway, and now you're so mad at yourself, it's cool. Forgive yourself. Allow yourself that space to be all right with the decision that you made, because we make decisions for so many reasons. We make decisions because we're sad, depressed, frustrated, afraid, nervous, lazy. We make decisions for so many reasons. And so when you're making decisions, forgive yourself for those negative and terrible decisions that we do make, because if you make a mistake one time, you do something, it's a mistake. If you make that same mistake again, if you make a mistake or get into trouble again after that, then guess what? You are the one that is making those poor decisions. But you want to practice forgiveness, because the reason when you practice forgiveness, it allows you to release that thing that's hurting you. And so practice forgiveness, you let it go. It gives you like a whole fresh woosah, and you're cool after you forgive. You have to practice forgiveness. And forgiveness is just giving it up. I'm not going to hold on to resentment. I'm not going to make myself sick or ill. I am not going to continue to harbor on things that don't suit me nor make me happy. It's over. It's done. There's nothing that I could do about it. I won't beat myself up. I won't fight myself, and I won't continue to fight you. I'm done, and I'm cool. And sometimes, a lot of times, you literally have to forgive in a way where you are just cool with whatever it is. And for me, being cool is, it is what it is. Say that. It is what it is. Say it again. It is what it is. We do not control the world. We don't control other people's emotions. We do not control. We only can control the things that we do from moment to moment and day to day. It is what it is. Period. And so when you practice forgiveness, that is just you saying, it is what it is, and I'm going to move on. Because I'm not going to hold on to the unforgiveness and the person that I'm having the forgiveness with. My life is not what it's supposed to be. That don't make me happy. That doesn't make me happy. But their life is moving on and your life is standing still. That's just ridiculous. So we're not doing that. Forgive, right? Be open-minded. When it's time for a new relationship, we want to be open-minded. Don't take old stuff into new things, right? Are you going to get a brand new house? Let me think if that's what I want to say. Are you going to take your brand new house and your ripped up, dirty, torn up, tattered things into your beautiful existence? Are you going to do that? Is that a good analogy? That's all I can come up with right now. Don't take old habits into new things. As you remember, you're learning yourself again. You have forgiven yourself. You are focusing on self-love. And so you are going to be open-minded. And so we're not going to take our old habits, our old attitude, because we've evaluated ourselves. We've looked at ourselves to say, I wonder, what is it that I was doing that made me, or that was attracting the energy that I was attracting into my life, and how can I do it different? And so as I'm being open-minded, I'm remembering that that's not it. This is not, you're not that person, and I've grown into a better person, and so I am not what it was, right? And so I'm being open-minded and willing to take a chance on myself. I'm not bugging my fears and my attitude and my negativity into my new situation. I'm going to be I'm going to be myself, but I'm going to be a new person, a new beginning, and do more for myself than I could do. And I'm going to participate in this relationship. For me, I remember when I first got in, I've been with my boo bear for maybe like 7 years or so, and physically together. And I remember when I first came, I would have like, every time something happened and I was afraid, I would be like, what? You don't know me. You don't better ask about me. You know what I mean? And so I would say that, you don't want to ask about me. And 1 second, I'm not going to, whatever. I would say that, you don't want to ask about me or see about me, but I was just bringing my old fears into my new situation. And so I stopped doing that. I became open-minded, and my partner too. Try to make sure that your partner communicates with you. Don't be afraid to express your fears, to express what happened before, and how to have your boundaries, to set up your boundaries. But I tell my boo bear, he would say, I'm not that person. I'm not what you've been through. I am who I am. And so make sure that we don't clash our old existence with our new existence, but we're open-minded to the possibilities of better happiness, better, stronger choices, and happier relationships. That is so key. And the last thing I want you to do is take it slow. Take your time. There's no rush. Take your time. Get to understand. Don't go from relationship to relationship. That is a bad habit that I had. If I broke up, only reason I broke up is because I already had a boyfriend. And we didn't broke up because when something happens, I had a bad habit of staying. So I would stay in the situation, and then before I got to the next situation, I had a situation, so I was on situation on top of situation on top of situation, and I never got out of it. So I was just taking all of the hurt and piling it up and carrying it around with me, and I was together, but I was not together at all. So make sure that you take it slow. Take your time to get to know yourself again. Take your time to get to know the new person. Understand who they are, understand who you are, and then don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to move on from the situation, meaning like, don't be afraid to take your time being by yourself. Don't be afraid to take your time getting to know you, getting to know the new person. Speak up for yourself. Make sure you speak up for yourself. Make sure you say what you like. And don't be afraid to realize that this person is not for me. We have a good time. Everything was great. Sex was good, but you're not exactly my person. Great time, not my person. That's okay. It's not your person. All right? So I'm not going to stay on here forever. We've been 30 minutes and I'm out. 5 steps to regaining fear, getting away from fear of love. 5 steps, right? Take time to heal. Focus on self-love. Practice forgiveness. Be open-minded and take it slow. I will take my time. These are affirmations. I will take time to heal. Say it 3 times. I will take time to heal. I will take time to heal. I'm going to focus on self-love. Say it 3 times. I will focus on self-love. I will focus on self-love. I will focus on self-love. Practice forgiveness. I will practice forgiveness. I will practice forgiveness. I will practice forgiveness. Be open-minded. I will be open-minded. I will be open-minded. I will be open-minded. Take it slow. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time. So ladies, make sure you follow. Join us. Join our group, the Manifesting for Her group. You want to join the community. It's free giveaways in the community. This ebook, literally, if you comment on this post at any time, every time you comment, you're going to get a text back that this community is open to you. Manifesting for Her. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. And make sure you order the book, Wake the F Up, I Am Not My Abuse, and my new book that's about to drop. You got to stay posted so you can see it. Have a happy, amazing day, and I'll see you later. There ain't no music on Facebook. It's just us. We can party. But it's what it is. So see ya. Thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Bye.